No, not limit.
Yeah.
No, that's not what I was saying. I was just saying there was just 8 total.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, sorry, I didn't have some shoes.
Been over the slider.
And you can't, since you can't, I was down whole US there's no, that's that you're not walking through there, it says $100, so my mom was using to that. So it has to.
It was ready.
It's cool.
We're ready.
All right. Welcome everyone to a work session of Mount Crested Town Council. Make sure I have the right meeting, last meeting. And so, first item is Mount Crested Butte Chamber of Commerce Winter 2024-2025 recap and year-end recap. Heather, hi Heather, welcome.
Hi, Mayor, Council, thanks for letting me have the chance to chat with you all again today. Tiffany's working on pulling up the presentation. My computer seems to have lost its brains a little bit right now, so. So I'll go ahead and get started. I don't think it was a surprise to anyone that visitation was a little lower this past winter. We definitely saw that at the visitor centers, although Mount CB was, had some decent traffic. Numbers, I think were, you could move to the next slide, that would be awesome. So we saw 7% decrease. I think TAP said overall visitation was down 9%. We had about 7,600 visitors to the Mount CB Transit Center, 3,000 through CB. So definitely more visitors in Mount CB in the winter. Yes.
12.1 to 5.1 what?
Oh, so we're calling went from December 1st to May 1st.
Oh, thank you.
We're looking at the winter season, which I know we're missing Thanksgiving weekend, but the numbers are kind of clear that way. So overall operating days were basically the same as last year. We were open every day. The ski resort was open. We closed when the ski resort closed up here. Just opened back up last weekend as the lifts started running for the summer season. We also continued the trend in Crested Butte where we were open Friday through Monday in April. And we will probably continue to do that since it's extremely quiet in April. In fact, we might look at shutting down for community school spring break next year since there's literally nothing going on that week in April. So a good chance to kind of save on some labor and redistribute that. We did raise the starting wage to $20 an hour on January 1st, and that made a big difference in being able to recruit staff and keep the positions filled.
What was it before?
17, they were making between 17 and 18. Cool. So that put us on par with Vail. There's still some employers who are a little bit lower than that in the valley, but it brought that up, and that definitely I think helped with our retention and with just being able to attract staff for those positions. So this winter, one of the things that I kept kind of thinking about and that I want to think about going into next winter is how to leverage our staffing between the two locations so that we provide more support to Mount CB when it's busier and it's quieter at the four-way and vice versa. So some things I thought about are, particularly on powder day weekends, can we staff an extra person between, 9 and 11 and maybe 3 and 5 so that we're out there, helping Mountain Express, chatting with people, giving them information, kind of moving it out of the transit center and trying to connect back with people. So before we go into next winter, it's on my agenda to also connect with CBMR and talk about, is there an opportunity to connect on the guest services side of things. So if you would move to the next slide. Moving into summer, visitor forecasts were showing that June and August were pacing a little bit behind, but July and September flat to last year. I'm hopeful that that's continued to level out. I tend to not worry about visitation in the summer because it's just a different trend. People just book closer in. I also think maybe our lodging rates have not come down a little bit from where they were at over COVID, which was pretty high. So I'm anticipating traffic is still going to be busy, and even if it's not necessarily in, heads and beds, it's definitely going to be campers and campsites, which is our number 2 question in the summertime. So we're going to continue the mobile visitor centers. We're doing that at Alpenglow. I've not yet heard back from Crested as to whether we can do it at Mount CB, but that's the plan. Is to set up there. We were able to connect with campers and answer all kinds of questions. Also parking questions, which is another big one. So it just gave us a little extra visibility, and also we were able to pick up some tips, like where are the wildflowers this week? And so that we can share that with people, because that is the number one question. So changes to and then the other thing we're working on too is evaluating and updating how we collect demographic information. The four-way was just approved as in a partnership with the Colorado Tourism Office, because we are close to Highway 135, and so that opens up some other resources with some concierge training, and also hopefully some insight into how are they collecting data. I give you all kinds of data in the reporting. I don't know if it's effective. I want to consider how we better capture that. One of the things that I've really been focused on this year is where are the opportunities to automate and to save time so that we can really be focused on interactions with people and not on trying to capture data. So we're working on that. CB, we're implementing retail at the four-way. It's been a slow process, but or at least visibly, we had to put the infrastructure in place as far as point of sale systems and make sure that if we're selling things, we sell them and don't lose money on that. So, but we're hopeful that that's going to bring some great traffic in. So the reason why I mentioned CB is as we go into summer and we see that pattern flip where CB has more traffic than Mount CB, I'm looking at how do we continue to flow visitors so that we can, share that information, because the four-way is a gateway in the summertime. And a lot of it is about how do we connect and give more information about Mount CB businesses. So we're looking at how do we connect better with the businesses here to make sure that the information is out there. CB, I'm totally going the bike rental shops. We get those questions, but I don't think we have the resources there to be able to really share it. So we're working on that. Mount CB, we are working on implementing technology. We're not there yet, but we're getting there. We have the kiosk. We're working on how to put it out there in a way that it does not get damaged. So Addison and I met a couple of times to look at how do we secure it, how do we make sure somebody doesn't knock it over, and then we'll work on some internet connectivity. We've also got a laptop up there and a phone. So those three things I think will really kind of help improve that. But yeah, we're working on getting those up and running. So other things we're working on this summer is the porta potty program. I don't know if everybody in this room knows this, but the chamber works to set up porta potties across the backcountry at various trailheads. We haven't done a good job of telling people that we do this, let alone our visitors. So we're going to share that information with our visitors and make sure that they know where those are. It is a big project, and we've got 4 more locations that we'd love to be able to put them, assuming that we're able to find the funding for that. And then last, but certainly not least, and this leads into our chamber of business on the next slide, we are getting a new website and a new chamber customer relationship management system. Not everybody knows that chambers have CRMs that are specific to them. They're designed to help chamber EDs do their jobs better, and they're also designed to give our members better resources. So we have one that is the most expensive one and the most archaic one. So we are moving away from that and moving to one called Chamber Nation. And what really appeals to me about this is one, it automates billing, which literally saves me weeks in my workload over the course of a year. Gives us a new website, gives us the ability to host events, gives us the ability to be able to just increase our marketing reach as well. And it gives a lot of our members those resources. So if you're a small business and you don't want to pay for your own website, you can literally use the website that you have through the chamber. So and it gives some other communication tools. There's some platforms for members to communicate with each other as well. And it is also connected to the kiosk, because the kiosk is only as good as the chamber website, and it is currently not great. So that's going to continue to change. We're rolling that out in early July, because that's also tied to Chilean Beer Festival. We know that's the worst time for businesses to get on board, but nobody's using the old one anyways. So we're just going to ease them into this whole new tool and really be working on outreach and how do we engage our members. The board is really excited about this. Tomorrow they're going to their Thursday, they're going to their second strategic planning session, and this is really a big part of this too, so. It's really been what I have been working on all winter is technology and trying to put the infrastructure in place so that we can be more efficient and I can do more things like connecting with our businesses and being on site with our visitor centers. We are, an update on the chamber merger discussion. I think a lot of you knew that there was talk this past winter about whether the Gunnison and the CB Mount CB chamber should merge and what that looked like. And there was a meeting with most of the TAP board, with the Gunnison Chamber Board and the CB Mount CB Chamber Board. And we also did have a representative from the BOCC. And we had just an open and honest dialogue about that. We came away from that meeting, understanding that we need to talk to each other a little bit, that there's opportunities for collaboration, but also the intent seemed to be that maybe there would be monetary savings by merging the chambers, and there really are not. Both of our chambers are running on very lean budgets. Both of myself and the Gunnison ED were very hands-on connecting with our businesses. Our businesses are different. I mean, even between Mount CB and CB, there's vast differences in how our businesses operate. So I don't see how one chamber could serve all of the Gunnison Valley right now. But we're going to continue to talk. Gunnison went ahead with hiring a new ED. I got to be a part of that hiring committee, which was a great process because it also gave me the chance to connect with the Gunnison Chamber more and to understand how we can collaborate. I've been attending TAP meetings, just trying to hear what they're about. That helped me understand what they do a little bit better. And come this fall, as Andrew is, fully onboarded into his role, and Leora at the Gunnison Chamber, and after the CB Mount CB Chamber works out our strategic plan, we're going to get together again and talk about, what does this look like? How can we better collaborate? I don't think it's off the table, but I think at this time, it's not something that makes sense for us. But I think the opportunity to connect is huge. So that really was a great thing that came out of that. Also, another thing that we are working on, I've been very busy, is creating a 501c3. I think I mentioned this when we were here for the Chilean Beer Festival grant. Chambers are 501c6s, so membership nonprofits. We can create a 501c3. It's a totally different entity as part of the chamber, so it's a chamber foundation. It's going to be focused on education and leadership development, because some of the things that we want to do are educate our visitors, educate our businesses, and help to bring back leadership. I've had a chance to be a part of the Gunnison Valley Leadership Steering Committee, and I got to go through that program a long time ago. And it was a really great program because it gave me a broader view of our valley. It helped me understand things like water rights and that. So I want to be able to help businesses send people to that program. And this is a way that we can do that by offering scholarships and helping to remove the funding barrier so that we can help our businesses grow and retain more staff and help our entire community to be more economically vibrant. And then we are also looking at our business after hours strategy, changing that up a little bit. We've got one coming up in Mount CB in August. Westwall Lodge is going to be hosting, so I'll keep you all posted on that. But we're looking at adding in some things like instead of just a mixer where businesses talk about their business, we're still going to have that. We're going to do some things like maybe some business trivia. Montana is going to host one in later in the fall, where we're going to do something like that. So just looking at some different ways to engage and to really sort of energize our business community. And then, of course, some educational programming that we're working on with different businesses, probably not until the fall since we're going into another busy summer season. So you would move to the next one, Tiffany. Thank you. Financials, that was another big thing that we worked on. We set up a completely new chart of accounts, making it more consolidated and more simplified. It had got to the point on our financials where it felt like we had an account for every expense. So we completely started fresh in QBO. Does mean that there's still some things that I'm sorting out. If you looked at the financials, you would probably have questions. So do I. So we're ironing that out with H&H, but as we move forward, it'll keep kind of getting cleaner. And this new system helps with that. It's going to move billing into that new system. It's going to automate billing. So it's like Amazon Prime instead of me having to go through 3 systems. to manually send all the invoices, so that is pretty huge. And then, of course, as I went through this too, this whole year, I've been going through this CRM and the billing system and trying to figure out who are our members. So I cleaned up some things, I dropped some people, that businesses that hadn't even been around for a while, so that's why you see there is a drop in our membership. We did, over the course of those 5 months, we did pick up 9 new members. The drop is really due to cleaning up the systems. And then we're gonna be working on a membership drive as part of the new CRM. It's a great chance to talk about what the chamber's doing, and to really prove, our worth to the business community, so. That, I believe, is my last slide. Yes,
Thank you. How many members are there?
there are, usually we're hovering around 320, I believe we're at 296, if I remember right.
Where's your boundary? Southern boundary? Can't remember.
What do you mean?
Like, how far out is Almont Resort buying membership here? How far south do these memberships
We have
traditionally
Tennyson
go?
members, I just picked up a member from Paonia.
Okay, cool. So
Yeah.
it's whoever wants that
Yeah,
exposure.
yeah, we have an attorney in Denver who likes to use the conference room for depositions, so yeah.
Cool.
We wanna make sure that it's relevant to what we have, but so. Yeah, every now and then I get a membership request from some kind of business in Vegas and I usually turn them down, so. I don't see the relevance there, but yeah. Which was something that also came up with that conversation with the Gunnison Chamber is, we have overlap among our members. So it's not like just, making one chamber, it would have financially, there would have been a decrease in membership on both chamber sides.
Yeah.
Yes.
Does Vail do a merchant pass program at any of their other resorts?
I believe that there's something in either Vail or somewhere in the Summit or Eagle County, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I actually think it's Vail, because I think it's somehow connected to that Vail Valley Partnership, which is their version of a chamber. I will look into it. This question came up when I joined the chamber board, and that was exactly when CBMR did away with the
Yeah,
business pass, and I don't think it's been broached with Vail since they left the resort here.
right. I would speculate it's not a top priority for them because currently you can only go through them.
Yeah.
It used to exist in Steamboat.
It does exist in Aspen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Altera, or just because Aspen's sort of a
Just
standalone.
Aspen.
Yeah. It has value for businesses because you can buy the passes and transfer them,
Yep.
whereas right now it's not easy to do that. And you can actually pause passes if there's some issues with staff.
Yeah.
So, I don't know how far up the silo you have to go. Do you jump into the next silo to get the answers?
Let me look at Vail and see, if that exists out there. I think it's a one-off, because of course, the pass is also there, what they did to, attract staff to work with them too. So,
Right.
At least that was how it was explained to me pre-game, so, but I'm happy to explore that. I mean, because I
Thanks.
agree, it's an asset to businesses and it was frustrating when it went away many years ago.
As of 23-24, there was a merchant pass program, members of the Vail Chamber and Business Association.
Okay.
But-
Yeah, I can reach out to them and see how they were able to leverage that.
Maybe, the Nordic Center would participate in that.
The Nordic Center would be a great one,
Mhm.
yeah. Yeah, I'll look into that,
Thanks, Heather.
yeah.
Any other questions for Heather?
Good.
No other questions?
Doesn't seem like it.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you guys.
Thank you very much.